Hello, ladies and germs. So I've been writing a hell of a lot today, or really rather yesterday I was writing a hell of a lot. I must have kicked out about 10,000 words. And I'm writing this novel called Citadel at the moment, this sort of space, adventure, romance, friendship novel. It's very nice, although it's got like dark and scary bits in it. It's got lovely characters, I think. Follows the adventures of Zora Cavendish and her best friend Amanda Hope, and it gets really rather strange later on when you start realising how old these people really are, that they've had their memories tampered with, so they don't remember loads of their life before, of that, well, I'm not going to ruin too much of it, but yeah, and like, are some really, really cool technology in this also, I think. Like future technology that I'm imagining. Like, nanosurgery bits. I got this sort of light speed engine that I call the subtle engine, which also, as a byproduct, conveniently generates onboard gravity. And yeah, it's good. But I've been reading it through, and I'm starting to realise that the first draft is obviously terrible. It's really, really bad. And the first draft of anything is always really bad. It's That's the thing about first drafts. You read it through. Don't ever read it through. You don't need to. You know it's going to be crap. Just type it out as quickly as you can. Just get the rough cut of the story on paper. There'll be grammar mistakes in it and spelling mistakes even, unless you use spell checker. But yeah, if there's a spelling mistake in it, if it's got the annoying little red line under it, don't worry about it. Just move on. Just keep writing. It's and second drafting. That's, I think, the bit where you need to pay a bit more care and attention. And really get it right then. And, that shouldn't be a problem for most people, I think, but that's just like writing advice stuff. And yeah, so I've been reading my first draft through, which I know you should never do, and it started out sort of as one thing, and it's turned now into something really, really different I didn't expect, but I'm having loads of fun writing it. It's like such a massive amount of space in which I can play, in terms of physical space of the story. Because I've looked at, within 1,000 light years of Earth, I would guess how many stars? 250,000. With how many worlds orbiting each star? Say 8 or 9. Well, got a lot to play with there. Oh, and that's, by the way, that's Type A main sequence stars. 250,000. So I'm projecting about sort of 5,000 off-world humanoid civilizations that have sprung up during the course of X number of years. So yeah, really loads of space in which to develop ideas for it, and I'm really, really enjoying that. But I had a brainwave also about what I've been doing wrong in writing in the past, and I think that this is something that loads and loads of, let's face it, novice writers get wrong, and that's formatting. And I've been doing my formatting all wrong all this time, and you can see it in Sergeant Arson. Like, look at that. Like, all these spaces under bits of dialogue, they shouldn't be there. It's wrong. It's crap. Like, I was like, whoa, why is it not? Why does no one like it? It's like, well, what is it? It doesn't look like a novel even. Seriously, have you ever seen one novel with like any spaces between dialogue? You don't see it, do you? I mean, I've read like lots of novels, but I should know that. I think I did know that on a level. Why was I deceiving myself? I don't know what I was doing. Because it does it automatically on Word. To like piss lazy, just press Shift Enter instead of Enter. I can do that really easy on my laptop. There's a shift below Enter. Let's do it now to check. It's really fucking easy. But I mean, you get just like you don't even have to stretch across the keyboard to the other Enter. The other Shift, sorry. I'm a fucking fool. What am I doing? Like tap Enter? Like. And Word does this other equally annoying thing now, where I know it should be right, left aligned, sorry, really. And I know it shouldn't be, you know, what the one that makes it look justified, yeah, that's it. But I like the way justify looks. And I know that, like, when it gets published, if it gets published, like, use the justify. Like, they would do. And they'll be able to correct that shit on Word that probably doesn't happen on their fancy software that they use. They're probably like publisher typesetting software. And it's bad for the environment to space everything. Wasting paper, isn't it? It's got more pages in it than it needs. Why would that make it better? It's annoying. It's annoying. It makes it more annoying to read, actually. And should it be in size 12, Times New Roman? Yeah, it probably should. Because on the face of it, Times New Roman does seem like a pretentious font to use, if you know what I mean. Because I went for Calibri in Sergeant Arson, because I thought it suited Sergeant Arson. But that's not the reason to use Times New Roman. The reason to use Times New Roman is because it's a serif typeface. And typefaces like that were initially developed because they're easier on the eye when you're reading them for a long period of time. And there's all sorts of like psychological subtleties and reasons why that is that I don't really know. But it's roughly like that. It allows you to get into it more for longer. Whereas Calibri is a sans serif typeface, and eyes don't like it, and like visual centers of the brain like reject it more. So yeah, use Times New Roman always for a novel, aka in French, et roman. Hence Times New Roman. New Roman, novel, it's new, you know. The clues in the name. Times New Roman is the typeface for novels. Because every novel seems to be written in it, or printed in it. And it's written in it, so yeah. But 10,000 words though, yesterday, very, very pleased with that. I rarely write that much in a single day or a single sitting, and all I can think about now is writing more of it. And where it's going to go, I know where it's going to go. They're going to go off and have space battles. I came up with this is a quick vignette, I came up with this alien race called Thecalians, and they've genetically modified themselves over the course of many years to be huge creatures, 11 feet tall and muscle bound, and they're all bald, and they got like purple blotchy skin, or like reddish purpley skin, and they believe they're incredibly intelligent. And yeah, and they're supremely arrogant. They have a huge 7,000 ship fleet of cheaply built rust buckets, and their like warfare tactic is just throw as many men and ships at the problem as possible. And like thick aliens. That's like what the root of that would be. But I think they're really cool because a breakaway gang of 30 ships attack Earth in this, and one of the main characters in this, Tom Cavendish, when he's a young lieutenant, he's got this bit of dialogue which I'm really pleased with. He says, "They did what? They wouldn't dare. There'll be fire in the sky tonight as I burn their ships on our atmosphere." I just love that line. But yeah. And it's kind of comical, I think, the way he like handles them, because they don't like being goaded. So him and 7 other pilots fly to where they're hiding the fleet, which is behind the moon, and like goad them and like get them to like give chase, and then he like drags them in their stupid, clunky, heavy ships towards the atmosphere, and the planet has an automated system of railguns defending it. That's why they're hiding behind the moon, and the railguns get them. The other sort of star pilots get them as well, and all the ships burn up in the atmosphere. And Tom was absolutely right. It's like I just like love the indignation of this young man. Like there's like, they did what? like because Earth is at the center of this sort of galactic community. Earth is like the motherland of the species. It's like the most beautiful planet, if you like. Quite a lot of the other planets, they're going to be habitable, but like quite a bit more hostile than Earth often, and civilizations sort of arise in more like indoor hive structures often than outdoor lovely places like the Citadel, which is the main city of Earth at this point. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Really, really pleased I'm getting to do this. What I sort of envisaged this might be, I think this might well be, considering how many different adventures these people could get up to in this universe, which is the universe, the galaxy. This might be like my Aubrey Maturin saga. You know, the Patrick O'Brian books. This might be a 12-book thing. I'm really excited for this because I've never really sort of seen myself writing something like that long. But the possibilities with this are endless, I think. And got good, solid main characters. Got a few peripheral characters that I've made sort of more interesting now, and they might show up here and there. But the beginning 80 pages or so of it, until she gets to the Citadel, are weak. And it's too bleeding heart romance as wanting to be a romance novel, whereas what it really ought to be is an adventure story. And now that I'm getting into the adventure stuff, I'm like, oh, I can write this. And I was like churning through the romance bollocks. I was like, I can't do it. I can't fucking write this stuff. And then I go through it and read it. I'm like, ugh. Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, no. Ugh. And I mean, Sergeant Arson, like, once that's properly formatted, that will be a good story. I think that'll be a cracking little story. But I'm like, when I was writing this, I'm like, whoa, I can write this, like, crime comedy. Which is, like, yeah, sort of adventure stuff-ish, but, yeah. No, like, lovey-dovey stuff. And it's like, it's set in the countryside, and there's romance between two young women in the countryside. It's like, oh, country girls in love, lovely. But it just, oh god, some of the writing in that, those bits. Because, you know, when it comes to matters of the heart, you want to put love in it, or romance in it. Like, to make it really impactful, I think scenes like that, absolutely pare it down. Don't go into these elaborate monologues about their thoughts and feelings and worries about getting with one another and one of them leaving and so on. That should all just be fucking obvious. Like, I reckon when it comes to romance, like, observe and report and be journalistic about it. You know, and don't go into all this sort of stuff about, like, the drapes fluttered in the breeze as their legs slid over one another or something. I don't know. You don't need any of that. Less is more, you know. That's like the Hemingway school of writing, I think, or, you know. Although I haven't really read anything by Hemingway that has a great deal of romance in it. I know he has written romance novels, like The Snows of Kilimanjaro, isn't that one? And I started reading A Farewell to Arms. I believe there's love in that, but I can't for the life of me remember what happened to it. Like my copy of Infinite Jest, I got halfway through that and it disappeared. I don't know where it is. And I like that book. It's really good. It's a big Gravity's Rainbow type book, like a doorstop. It's not as good as Gravity's Rainbow, but it's not that far away from being as good as Gravity's Rainbow. Pretty fucking good. What else have I been doing? I've been reading A Doorstop, Diamond McCulloch's History of Christianity. Been averaging 100 pages a day of this, which takes me literally all day. And, like, spending all day reading is really, really fun. It's hard at first, but once you get into something like this, like a hardcore, like proper big boy history book, which is what this is a preeminent history book. It's a history book par excellence. Yeah, that shit is good. That's some good dank shit right there. Damn. What am I going to read next? I think I've decided I'm going to read Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, which I started reading because it starts off as a diaristic thing written by a mentally handicapped person, and it is torture reading it. But I've flicked through some of the pages and it does get better, so I'm going to read it. But yeah, I understand the effect that Keyes was going for. I'm like, it couldn't all be like this, could it? It better not be. Oh god. But yeah, I mean, I think so often in writing, you think it'll never happen. Like, yeah, it will never happen. if you don't format your work properly. Because what are editors going to do? They're going to look at it and be like, it was a Google search away. Like, oh, they've never read a novel, clearly. What is this idiot doing? Like, well, what do they think? Or they think this. Oh, they think that we're going to do all that for them. You know what I mean? It takes no effort, none. Like, that's the message it sends. It sends the message, like, firstly, I don't read novels. That's the message it sends. I don't really know what I'm doing as a writer. They're going to expect me the editor, or me the agent, or whoever, to do work on their behalf. And being a published author, by the way, as the likes of John Green will tell you, because, you know, he puts videos out there of all the shit he has to do as a big-time published novelist. You know, he's got to go around promoting it, he's got to sign a bajillion copies himself, he's got to do this, that, and the other. And, you know, he works probably about as hard on the promotion of his work as he does on the actual bloody writing of it. You know, we can't all be Thomas Pynchon and live in a cave in the Midwest and, you know, never give a public appearance. And if you're going to be like that, you better be like Thomas Pynchon. But you know what I bet Pynchon does? I think he formats his fucking work properly. Like, stupid writer. Idiot. Anyway, rant over, I think. I've got anything else to rant about? Ukraine. They're pulling back! Fuck yes, Volodymyr Zelensky. I've decided you're not a shill. And I can't believe I think for a second that he was. Fuck that. He's an artist. He's a writer. He's a comedian. A producer. And you know what, like, with this sort of conspiracy hat on, me like going through his Wikipedia page, you know, thinking like, ooh, he's been to Russia with the comedy troupe, went to Moscow. I bet that's where he met Putin and Surkov and they got in cahoots. I'm like, what? On reflection, what? You know what I mean? Like, he's a Ukrainian, went to the neighbouring country for some reason to do stand-up. Like, what the F? That's like saying it's unusual if I were to go to Scotland and do stand-up. Or unusual if I were to go to America and do stand-up. Yeah, Sam Cottle's part of the great Western conspiracy between, like, comedians and government. And, like, well, I'm colluding with Biden because I went and did stand-up in LA. Or something. Bizarre. Really bizarre. And, but then again, like, some other things do jump out that quite annoy me about how the press are reporting on Zelensky. Like, I read this fawning article in The Atlantic where they're sort of like presenting him as being from like the mean streets of some deprived place in the south of Ukraine. That's not true at all. His dad's a cybernetics professor. His mum's an engineer. He's from the bourgeois of Ukraine. He's not rich, but middle class, yeah. From the intelligentsia, the bourgeoisie. You know, and, you know, which, like, politicians, really, how many of them, like, are working class? They're almost always middle class. Or more than that, you know. In the case of Boris Johnson, who, in real terms, is actually upper class. He's an aristocrat. he's, from the lineage of kings and, the upper classes. So I'm very sorry, Vladimir Zelensky. I never thought that about you. I think he's a great egg, fantastic egg, a brave egg. And by the way, the way I trumped myself with it, I said I came up with yet another narrative, which you can also come up with. So I discovered that Vladislav Surkov got fired by Putin in 2020. And yeah, maybe it's very possible that Surkov did try to curry or court Zelensky into some sort of plot. And Zelensky's like, yeah, okay, I'll go along with this. Plays Surkov up to a point, uses Surkov, then turns around and is like, actually, bitch, I'm doing it my way. Or rather, I'm doing it the best for Ukraine way. And fuck off. And then Putin's like to Surkov when he goes scuttling back to Moscow with his tail between his legs, you're fired. And Surkov's like, blah, blah, blah. You're lucky you're not going to get killed. But no, like, Zelensky, that is a man facing annihilation, or facing his death. He said on stage, at a press conference, if they get me, they're going to kill me. And they're going to kill my entire family. Like, that is some serious stones. Holy shit. What a man. What a brilliant man. Great man. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye bye. Love you lots.